what Jasprit Bumrah, the captain, had to say. We were talking about it, Chetan and I, about how, it was nice to see him in that presser before the series. Let's put the first quote up of Jasprit Bumrah before we get to Chetan, where he's talking about how he's raring to go, and which is always a good sign because we know how desperately India needs him to be fit in Asia Cup. And he's saying, it's not like I'm holding back, I'm enjoying it. I've done a lot of net sessions. When my rehab finished and I went home to Ahmedabad, I practiced with Gujarat state team as well. I've had a lot of sessions and practice matches. It's not like there are any restrictions or I'm holding back. Obviously, when you come with the Indian team and the weather here in Dublin is great, you enjoy bowling that much more. The body feels good and I'm looking forward to the games coming up. The other thing he says about is the specific preparation for the World Cup. Let's put that quote up as well, where he says that we were mindful that there is not a lot of test cricket in this cycle till the World Cup ends in November. So even in my rehab, we were never preparing for the T20 game. I was preparing to bowl 10 overs for the World Cup. I've been bowling 10, 12, even 15 overs. I've bowled more overs, so it becomes easier when you bowl lesser than what is required. Chetan, the importance of Jasprit Bumrah, of course, cannot be, we know how important he is in India's Asia Cup, in India's World Cup plans. He needs to just be fit here, and I think he will be in the Asia Cup squad. But what does this tell you about how he's prepared? And how he thought this was such an important phase in his career as well. Like you said earlier, that when he came back last time around, before the T20 World Cup as well last year, wasn't as sure, but it seems like he knows the importance of that rehab, making sure he's completely 100% fit before coming into this series. And that's a positive sign. He's looked good. Of course, we'll find out how he plays in the match, but he's looked good in every aspect. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, he has. Yes, he has. I mean, but I wouldn't read too much into how he's looking. In fact, what I'm reading a lot into is the positivity that he's coming up with. A lot of things that he's saying with a smile. He's enjoying, the situation that he is in, whether it's flights, whether it's training sessions, whether it's attending the press conference, and I am not holding back. He said that around 8 to 10 times.
Yeah, he did.
I am not holding back. I'm not holding anything back. He said that around 8 to 10 times, stressing that he is fully fit, that there's no need for him to go through the gears. And I think the other fact that is also important is that in training, he wasn't just preparing from a 4-over perspective. He knows very well that last year when he came back, he was bowling from a 4-over perspective because he was supposed to be ready for the T20 World Cup.
Yeah.
This time around, it's different. The Asia Cup is an ODI format, then obviously there's the ODI World Cup, so he'll be bowling 10 overs. So I think it's important that phrase that he said, that he's been bowling 5 overs, 10 overs, 12 overs. He's been building his fitness up. Of course, it's not the same intensity in a net session, but for us, at this point in time, it's important that his body holds up when he's bowling 60 deliveries, 70 deliveries on the go. So, particularly in a match simulation. So, like you said, yes, it's important for his fitness to hold up through these 3 matches. And then he will be on the flight to Sri Lanka and will join the Indian team for the Asia Cup. But again, it's all about the positivity that he's, showcasing at the moment. I think for me, the fact that he's smiling, the fact that he's enjoying the situation that he's in, it's been a year, almost a year that he's been away from cricket. And, we obviously missed him on the field. But the fact that he missed being on the field, nothing compares to that, the kind of bowler he is. So the positivity is the biggest plus point for me. And, it's just an hour to go now for the game for him to come back. Hopefully the weather stays away.
Yes, absolutely. That's what we all looking forward to now. Talking about positivity, there's another quote of him where he's talking about that he doesn't really look at what people are expecting from him. Let's put that quote up as well. And then I'll come to Jamie on Rinku Singh and whether he's going to get a debut or Sanju Samson. Will he be playing today? We'll ask all those questions. But first, let's put that quote up of Jasprit Bumrah talking about his comeback. He's saying, I am coming back after a long time. I just want to enjoy. I've never stayed away from the game for this long. I'm not thinking I will do this, I will do that, or I have to contribute a lot. I've come here to enjoy it because I like cricket. And then he goes on to say, expectations, well, I'm not keeping too much of it. I'm coming to enjoy the game. As for the expectations others have of me, that's not my problem. My work is to prepare and put my best foot forward. And he says everything else will take care of himself. The other thing, Jamie, that he talks about is about his injury and how that can be frustrating. And I want to come back on that, but let's put that quote up. He says, sometimes when your injury takes longer than usual to heal, it can get frustrating. But instead of having self-doubts as to whether I won't become all right, my thought process was how I can be fine and how quickly I can come back. You need to give the body as much time as it needs. I never thought of it like those were dark days or I wouldn't be able to come back. I was never looking too far ahead. I was only looking at finding a solution to the issue at hand. Once I found the solution, it felt good that I'd be able to work my way up.